People who do get enough for this shit. What's your job? Supervisor for temps. Temps in this context are criminals keeping their parole officers off their backs. Or druggies between highs. High school dropouts. People who generally don't make great choices. Lots of crazy shit happens. Ridiculously high turnover. Cops and EMTs show up regularly. I don't like the job. But it pays well. Account executive, sales/relationship management basically, in the mortgage industry. Hired on with no experience, no degree, and doubled my income from the year before. Then tripled that in my second year, multiple six figures. I'm making as much as a doctor with absolutely no debt to pay off. I get to work from home, sitting at a computer 5 days a week 40 hours flat. I have 20-something calls a day where I remind somebody where to find something on the website and that's about it. Occasionally I deal with somebody difficult, but I remind myself, I do most certainly get paid enough for this shit. Air traffic controller. We like to moan about red tape and stupid rules and management and dumb pilots, but I think we all know it's an incredibly well-paying job for what we do. Most controllers are making over $100,000, have great benefits, early retirement, long breaks, and most of the time it's fairly laid back. There are times where it's absolutely insane and things can get dangerous fast, so you have to be on your toes and ready to go from 0 to 100 in an instant, but most of the time it's just routine, easy work, with enormous consequences for screwing up. But yeah, the pay is totally worth it. Not me but my late grandpa, he would armor cars for people. He did for 2 presidents as well. When I say him I mean him and his team. But those 2 times for the president apparently gave him almost double what he got yearly. And he would tell me how easy it was, the client gets the car. You throw some Kevlar in there and some bulletproof glass and tires and you're good. Before anyone asks, he didn't work on JFK's. I think one was for Jimmy Carter. I have a model somewhere. Game DEV basically it has many advantages. I wake up whenever I want, I work whenever I want, rest whenever I want, no boss, I am my own boss basically. And the money is not bad even though I haven't hit the jackpot with a very successful game, smiley face. And the cherry on top, it's what I wanted to do since childhood, my dream job. I'm a producer. Make a decent, middle-class salary and my work is mostly engaging, creative and sometimes really fun. I'll never make a huge salary but that's okay to have a job that pays well enough and that I enjoy. I think I'm very lucky. I'm a plumber/contractor. Some days I can make up to $3,000 in a day renovating a bathroom. Sometimes I make $1,800 in 1 or 2 days for doing flooring. Most I made in a month was around $20,000. I used it to take some time off and paid up all my bills for about 5 months and got drunk every day. Mostly though I make anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a week. I just cashed a check for $3,200 for a week's worth of work. So not too bad I'd say. It is pretty disgusting sometimes being in crawl spaces though, I've seen dead animals in some of them. This is totally going to be buried in the comments but I'm a physical therapist specializing in wound care. I work at a tertiary hospital and see incredible cases every day. I'm very interested in the science of it and it is amazingly satisfying to actually see people heal. My job is somewhat physical but it helps keep me active and the pay is pretty good, benefits are great, and hours are basically 9 to 5. I have a great relationship with many of the surgeons at the hospital and am valued as part of the team. And 1 day a week I get to teach at the university on the medical campus. It's a good gig. I work for a company that collects money from radio stations and distributes it to artists. It pays a decent amount since it's a government-affiliated organization. I have to match the radio play data to the data that the labels submit, aka listening to music all day. Distribution channel manager. 90% remote even before COVID. Probably only 30 HRS a week of real work. I stare at data that rarely needs correcting, and I have very smart people to do the correcting when it's needed. Honestly, I'm overpaid. But I spent 16 YRS in an ops management role that worked me to death so I'm not feeling any guilt. Government consultant. Been at it over a decade, mid-six figures, mostly telework, basically just tell government how to fix easy problems because they only can hire people who don't know how to do it, and appointees are just focused on being figureheads for an agenda. And then half the time they don't have funding to actually do the thing you tell them, so you don't actually have to do much real work, and if you do then you delegate it to low-level employees out of college because those are the only rates they want to pay more than a few hours at a time for. Technician at a nuclear plant. There's a lot of red tape and procedural BS that you have to deal with, but as long as you follow the rules it's a pretty laid-back job that pays entirely too much. We always say we're paid for what we know, not what we do. I'm a pharmacist. I tell my techs that they don't get paid enough to deal with angry customers and that I'd prefer to deal with them. Really, though, it's the least I can do. My techs do so much for me. They handle difficult insurance claims, make sure I know which customers are waiting, start paperwork for clinical work before I know I have to do it. They really make my job easier and they make me look good. I love my techs and wish I could do more for them. Hospital housekeeping director. Once had a patient take a dump on the sidewalk. I would never in a million years make my $10/HR lobby cleaner pick that up and disinfect it. I did it myself because I made $95/K. I'm a tattoo artist, and I average $150 $200/HR. Sometimes I make $1,800 a day. I earn more than my partner, who is a mechanical engineer. His benefits are far better than mine, but my job is fun, and hardly stressful. I was a telco lineman for the last few years before I retired, and it was great. I loved the work, the guys I worked with were cool, and the bosses didn't give us any crap. The money was pretty good too for a job where no degree is required. After 31 years in the company I was making over $47 an hour, plus awesome benefits. Mind you, it was physically demanding, dangerous work, but I really enjoyed it. Railroad conductor. There are days where it is hell, but those days are few compared to the six-figure salary we pull in. Not to mention to amazing benefits. Support your unions, folks. The older trades that still have them are riding high, thankfully. I moderate social media, and the free therapy and high pay with bonuses really makes it worth seeing everyone try posting pornography to inappropriate sites. Soon I won't be doing the moderating itself though, just managing and helping others do the job. Perks of tenure. Not me, but my mom started working at a casino as a safety concierge, new position. All she does is wipe down machines and tell people to put their mask on. Gets paid $22.50 plus benefits and she gets 3 breaks. Also, she says a lot of the time they will send her to an elevator that she just stands there and presses the button when people come to use it. I'm a Lean Six Sigma specialist, process redesign, data, facilitation, etc., and can routinely make $90 an hour on projects. I sincerely love what I do, and feel I'm compensated fairly for the sheer amount of money/labor hours I help save agencies through soft and/or hard savings. I feel bad saying really. I have a job I kind of love. I teach 6 to 12 students, aged 15 to 25 who have had a bad start, and want to get back into education. Some of them go on to university, or go into jobs after spending a year with me. I teach 9 a.m. till 3 p.m., 3 days a week. I work another day from home doing paperwork. Get full-time pay for this. 40 hours a week at $30 an hour. I also get 9 public holidays off a year, plus 9 weeks extra full-time holiday, and 10 sick days a year. It's a pretty good life. Road construction inspector in a northern Canadian territory. Starting pay $90K, lots of overtime, spectacular work locations, per diems for out-of-town work, union member with pension, bankable overtime hours, new pickup each construction season, yearly travel allowance and probably more. My job is to take daily notes and make sure the contractor is following the contract. I was tired of my life and needed an out, went to school for non-destructive testing 2-year degree, Pell Grant paid my full tuition, hired by the federal government 6 months before graduation, I'm 5 years in, gross $120,000, no debt, full medical, dental, pension, 401k, 13 paid holidays and 4 weeks paid vacation, not to mention, free ride to work, free work boots, travel internationally with as much as $150/day per diem after housing, currently beachfront on Coronado. You can do it too. 2-year degrees are offered at community and tech colleges nationwide, no interruption due to coronavirus. Unconventional take, but when I was in high school I had a really great serving job. It was a movie theater/restaurant hybrid, think Alamo Drafthouse, so for a little more work, I was making $150+ on bad shifts. Good management that promoted from within, outside managers that haven't had experience with this niche industry never do well, so they all knew the business. The management was also open to new suggestions about how to streamline the business, so I went into college with 2 great examples of how I helped fix problems, and I met a lot of people I'm still friends with today while working there. HS degree only always good with technology and math. Started at a call center 13 years ago. Figured out those places always needs support and a numbers guy. Self-taught in SQL, VBA, VBScript, some Java, and C++. 160K base plus another 10-20K in bonuses. Healthcare is paid for. Not in Silicon Valley or Silicon Beach. Took the company I work for from doing all reporting by hand to building an ERP with tons of automation and integrations. I've made myself pretty irreplaceable. Not because I made shit Yankee, but I can find solutions and connect dots faster than most people. LOL. Every once in a while something breaks in the early AM or I get something that needs to be done ASAP. Other than that I work 3 to 5 hours a day. I'm a security guard at a large bus terminal. I get paid almost $18 an hour and really don't have to do much, just keep out people without a ticket and enforce the rules that are mostly related to if you don't have a ticket. GTFOL. If someone refuses or I feel a situation is beyond my pay grade, I can request the transit police come to deal with it, with no pushback for calling for them. I'm a village defender. Please tell me more, where this is at and if they're still hiring. Well, you see, when dragons or invaders come along to rape and pillage, he grabs his trusty sword and goes to defend hearth and home. Right now I'm leading a learning pod for 3 young kids who are in virtual school due to COVID. I assist them with their online activities and monitor their creative play, reading, meals, and cleaning up. I don't have to create any curriculum or do any assessment, and I only have the 3 kids, not a whole class or multiple levels of classes. It's stressful at times. They are so jumpy when we're waiting to cross a big street to get to the park. It's terrifying, and I do wish I had any break from the kids during the day, but I really think I'm making a fair wage for what I do. Security guard for a power plant in Nevada. Apparently this switching station is very important. You can't really tell from my duties though, which involves eating a bunch of food and watching Netflix in the guard booth. They encourage us to do what we can to stay awake because no one comes out here. I just spent 8 hours to my own devices. I get paid more than an armed guard and it's the best job I've ever had. On a side note, I watched Jumanji the other day with The Rock on shift. Slap me on the wrist and call me Brock. It is a great movie. Have a client who makes arrangements for a couple of F1 teams before they arrive in town. Hotels, restaurants, gyms, events and parties, and so forth. He gets to go to every Formula 1 destination, is single, makes major bank, has all expenses covered, gets free gear from sponsors and on top of everything collects air miles for all the destinations he travels to. His dad did the same job until he passed away in Thailand partying with a bunch of girlfriends in his hotel room.